But there's a great story about a Zen monk. It's always a Zen monk, isn't it? So he's going through the jungle and suddenly he hears some tigers and he starts running, and he's getting away from them. It's going great. And then he comes to a cliff. It's like, oh no, cliff. But then he sees a vine going over the side of the cliff. So he starts to climb down the vine to get away from the tiger. And the tiger's up the top, doing Arr. So he's going great. He's climbing down the vine, but then he hears as he's climbing down, the sound of the tiger above is getting less. But then he can hear, but it's also getting louder. And he looks down, and there's 3 tigers at the bottom of the rope as well. And he's like, "Oh no, I'm stuck. I can't go up. I can't go down. What am I going to do? Well, I'll just wait here." And then he looks up the vine, and he sees that a little mouse has come out, and it's gnawing on the vine, and it's starting to chew its way through it, and it's too far. He can't climb up quick enough to stop the mouse from cutting the vine. And he's like, "Oh no, this is not looking good for me." And then he looks straight ahead of him at the cliff, and he sees some wild strawberries growing in the cliff. And he reaches out and he can just about grab one, and he puts it in his mouth, and it's the most delicious strawberry he's ever had in his whole life. That's a story. I don't know if it has a happy end or whatever, but it's kind of about living in the moment. But to me, it relates to this thing about finding humor. You got tigers above, tigers below. There's a mouse eating the vine, but it's like in the middle of all that, this humor can cut through, and you can have the most deliciously hilarious moment happen for you. And it just suddenly, that's all that matters. In that moment, that's all that matters. I don't know what happened to the monk. I think it's one of those, like, because it's a Zen monk, it's one of those Zen stories. So there's no end, unfortunately. I didn't write this one. Ardis Whitman wrote it, and it's very good. It says, "There are times when it's hard to believe in the future, when we're temporarily just not brave enough. When this happens, concentrate on the present. Cultivate the petit bonheur, the little happiness, until courage returns. Look forward to the beauty of the next moment, the next hour, the promise of a good meal, sleep, a book, a movie, the likelihood that tonight the stars will shine and tomorrow the sun will shine. Sink roots into the present until the strength grows to think about tomorrow." Man, Ardis has definitely been in the trenches, because there's something conveyed in that, where you just can't, you find it hard to believe in the future, and that's where we're at the moment. You see that all around, where it's like, what is going to happen? It's like one crazy thing after another. Even if you don't look at the news, which I don't, but I can still feel it, And it's that thing of like coming back to the moment, in a way, being that monk and looking around for the strawberries, because it's all an illusion. There are no tigers above or below. There is no mouse. There is no vine. There is no cliff. There's just this moment. And if there's a strawberry in front of you in this moment and you savor that strawberry, that's the truth for you. And that's not putting your head in the sand, and it's not ignoring what's going on. It's looking for this treasure in the moment when it presents itself. And if you don't look around, you won't see it. And that's kind of what Ardis is saying here. Sink roots into the present until the strength grows. Because that story about the monk doesn't have an end to it, because it's full of potential. Meaning the potentials of what could happen, what did happen for him, are infinite. And similarly, what can happen, even though it seems like there's tigers above and below and the mouse and the whole thing. If you focus on the moment and sink roots into the moment and appreciate what is in front of you and let it nourish you for tomorrow. Beautiful.